So something interesting happened today while I was at school. It's not really weird, or I mean, I assume it's not that uncommon, but this is really my first experience of this sort, so I'll share it with you. I was in Starbucks getting my morning coffee, green tea latte, as I always do, and this random dude just like walked up to me, and I didn't realize it at the time, and he's homeless. He walks up to me and he's like, "Hey man, can I get some like coffee?" Me, being the nice, friendly person that I am, said yes to this. So I proceeded to buy this man coffee. He just picked whatever I picked. Not that strange, but the conversation afterwards I think is worthy of sharing. The first thing on the subject was what each other did, what I did, pretty much, because he was homeless. Really, like, I noticed he was homeless when I noticed his random bag of stuff. He had like, empty box of Pop-Tarts. Like one of those little lime bottles full of lime juice, but it was all empty. Had some other random stuff in there too, but I was scary, and he offered it to me in exchange for the coffee, and I was like, "No, you keep that. You like my new sweater? It's all fancy." In case I want to get all sexy. I'll just go through the things that we discussed. He asked me if I knew martial arts. He said my eyes were black. He discussed vampires and lichens, and he asked me when I got bit by a vampire, and I told him I've never gotten bit by a vampire, and he said, "Yes, you have," and I said, "Okay, I agree with you." He also talked about his eyes. He asked me what color his eyes were. I told him brown, and before I could answer, he said, "No, they're blue," and I said, "No, they're not." He said, "They're yellow," and I was like, "Okay, they're yellow." He asked me where I went to school, and I told him ACM, and he was like, "Does that stand for American College of..." And he didn't finish. He just never finished. That's where he ended his sentence, and I was confused, and then I told him. The coolest part is he had this rainbow blanket that he wore like a toga. He had clothes on underneath and over, but I could see underneath. He had like a rainbow toga, and I was like, "Oh, you're like the gay pride emperor of Rome." And he talked about dubstep and how it was in the music of vampires, and he did enjoy his coffee, which I'm very glad. Pretty sure he was under the influence of something. At one point, he called me his little bro, because that was just kind of strange. So, okay, there's a moral of this, is that not all homeless people are bad. You know, like, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him about why he was in the state he is, but, you know, like, everybody thinks that homeless people are like drug addicts, and he might have been, but he was still pretty cool, and I enjoyed his conversations. Okay, this video's gone on for 7 minutes. Bye. My lips, they're kind of chapped. That kind of upsets me.